Hi, welcome to my course on how to become a nude art photographer. I'm not gonna waste time with chit-chat, but I think it's important to give you an introduction on what this course will be about, but also especially what it will not be about. This course will not be much about photography technique, how to use a camera, how to illuminate a subject. There is so many free resources on photography technique, lighting techniques. You can find hundreds of hours of content like this for free on YouTube or wherever you want. What I wanted to is do something a bit different. I want to talk about some aspects which get very often overlooked and kept secret. I want to teach the mindset of a nude art photographer. I want to make you understand what it is that will help you find women that will accept working with you, that will accept undressing in front of you. At first you will have to pay for that, but then you can become someone that gets that for free. But this doesn't happen automatically. You need to understand how to communicate with women. You need to understand how to make women comfortable. And this is what really being a nude art photographer is about. This is a big part of it. Because let me tell you a secret. Taking pictures like these is very easy. You just have to press the button on the camera. What's really hard is what comes before. It's what creates the condition that puts the nude model in that position. And once the model is there, unless you want to complicate your life taking very complex and articulated pictures with a lot of photo retouching or maybe many models together and very extravagant situations. This is not what I do. Taking nude pictures is super easy. I repeat, what's hard is becoming the kind of man that doesn't have problems with making women feel comfortable, communicating with you at first and then coming to your house, or maybe you go to theirs, and they undress in front of you and they stay undressed for hours, because a nude photography session has to last for a few hours. And then there is also post-production. We will talk about that quite a bit, because actually this is what I've been doing for most of my life. My previous job was to retouch other photographers' pictures. So I think I've got a few things to say about that. But yes, this course is especially about learning to use your head to get inside the models' heads and to understand how to behave in the presence of nude women. This first chapter, I want to tell you a bit of my story. Not as a filler, but because I think it's important, because my story is very crucial in telling you how I became a nude art photographer, and it is an interesting example. It doesn't apply to many photographers, I think, but it will help you understand what happened, and it will help you understand why I became the kind of photographer that women have no problem getting undressed in front of. You see, this is extremely important. Doesn't matter if you have an incredible photography technique, if you are an incredibly creative person, if you are awkward about women, if you don't understand how to communicate with women without creeping them out, your talent is completely wasted. So, as I said, I worked for many years as a photo retoucher. I studied photography in the early 2000s, but I didn't put that in practice. I became immediately a photoshopper, a photo retoucher for other photographers. Then at some point, I found myself in Bali. I had my camera. I realized that I was at the beach and there were some gorgeous girls around. It's not the first time that I was at the beach and there were gorgeous girls around, but there has always been a part of me that was thinking, shit, why can't I just go to these women and speak to them and then take pictures of them? Why am I stuck? Why am I afraid to speak to strangers? But I found myself in Bali, where everybody is super chill, where there is an international community, where the environment is so beautiful, sunsets are so staggeringly beautiful, that people, you can tell that they are in a very special mood. And I was as well. I was feeling extremely elevated during the time. So it was like a magic situation. It was a magic moment to start finding the courage to just go to strangers and ask, can I take pictures of you? Now, why am I mentioning this? Because if you want to become a nude art photographer of women, you cannot just start from scratch. You cannot just be someone with zero experience, zero portfolio, nothing to show for, and ask women, will you pose for me naked? I'll pay, but will you pose for me? Maybe if you pay, some women will accept, but usually no. Usually you have to show something. You have to show that you have already done something similar before. So it doesn't have to be nude photography, but it has to be pictures of women. If they are in a bikini, perfect. And if there is an assortment of women on your portfolio and you take good pictures of them, this is what is gonna give you a chance to shoot naked models, professional models, or any kind of woman you want her to undress for you. And if you have something to show for, there will be chances that's gonna happen. So I mention this because this is how I started. I started shooting strangers at the beach in Bali. It was a day that I was walking on this beach, this massive beach. There were not so many people, but there were a few, and I noticed a couple of Finnish girls. As I said, they were in such a great mood. They were taking selfies, they were smiling. So for some reason, I found the strength. I was in a good place for that, because I was dressed. I was not just wearing a swimsuit, swimming trunks, and I was bare-chested. No, I was wearing a white shirt. I looked very smart for someone at the beach, and I had my camera in my hand. Now, you don't need any particular camera to do this. Any type of camera, even a phone, is just a tool that's gonna help you to achieve your creative goals. So it really doesn't matter. But if you have a camera at the beach, you look different from other people. You look like someone who is making an effort. You don't just look like a dude with a phone, because everybody's got a phone. So if you're just a dude with a phone, it's gonna be harder. But so I was dressed nicely. I saw these girls, and this is what became my way of introducing and asking women. That day I found the courage to do it for the first time, and I said, girls, I'm Mario. I take pictures of women. I know that this is a direct question, but I would like to take some pictures of you. I think I can take some amazing pictures of you today. Do you see what I did there? First of all, I introduced myself. I did what's called a pre-framing. So I said, I know this is a direct question. This empathizes with them, because if you do crazy things in your life without acknowledging that you are a bit crazy, people are gonna think you're crazy. Crazy people don't know that they're crazy. So whenever you're doing something which is unusual, something which might scare people off, if you acknowledge first that what you're doing is a bit strange, is different from what other people do, this is gonna help you massively. The person then understands that you are not insane, that is much more probable that you are a normal person who understands the mechanisms, who understands what's believable and what is not. So if you go to a woman and say, look, I know this is a direct question. I know, we speak the same language, you know? I know what you think of a guy that asks you to take pictures on the beach, but I'm gonna take amazing pictures of you today. I showed confidence. If you go there and ask, can I take pictures of you? Oh, please, can I take pictures of you? You're most likely gonna get a no, because you're not supposed to ask. You're supposed to state your intention with conviction. You're going to say, look, I want to take pictures of you. Not, can I take pictures of you? Because this shows that you know what you're doing. This shows that you have done this before. Very often you encounter some kind of resistance. Sometimes no. Sometimes your appearance and the way you ask for this thing with the camera in your hand, maybe they see that you have a nice Sony in your hand. Depending on the girl, this can be enough. But very often I got some kind of resistance like this. But I'm not a model. No, I'm very shy. No, I don't know. I'm a bit scared. And then I would reply, yeah, you're not a model, but I prefer to shoot girls who are not models because they are more authentic. Or they would say, I'm not photogenic. And I would reply, this is what every girl says to me when I ask them. But look what pictures I can take of these girls. And then I would take out my iPad. Of course, I didn't do it the first time. The first time it was just blind luck. Once you have a few pictures, that can just be 3 pictures. They don't have to be many. You can just show them. If you create a folder on your phone, or I was working with an iPad, so it was more impressive. I could show them, look, this is what every girl says. They always say that they are not photogenic, but look, I take great pictures of these women. So I think I'm gonna take great pictures of you as well. And this is how I basically started. This is how I built my first portfolio. There were not nude pictures, except a couple of topless pictures, not of girls that I met at the beach, but girls that I built a bit of a rapport with when I was traveling through hostels. Hostels are great for this because there is always a common environment where you can befriend a lot of people. If you behave the right way, you can become friends with girls, and if they understand that you're not a sexual threat, if they have enough of an open mind, or maybe if they are from the right countries, because in some countries getting naked is very common, nothing really special about it, like Germany, while in other countries is much of a bigger deal. So I had a couple of topless pictures in my portfolio, but mostly they were bikini pictures of girls that I met at the beach. This helped me build a portfolio that shows the women that I go then later to ask, will you pose for me naked? Professional models. This is what really helps you and that helped me to show that this is something that I can do. These women trusted me enough, and I created pictures which were beautiful enough that gave me enough confidence to then to make a jump. And it is something that you have to do in a way or another, because as I said, it's not really realistic to think that you can just go to a nude art model, even if you pay her, and tell her, will you pose for me? First of all, she will usually say no, she will not even bother to reply. But for you, it's gonna be really too much. It's gonna be really overwhelming. If you've never done any kind of practice taking pictures of women in any state of undress, this is really a terrifying jump. You will probably never even find the courage to write to nude models. You have to build some foundation. I did it this way. I went to the beach. The beach is amazing because people are relaxed there. I could do this anywhere, maybe even at the post office, but you have to do it in an environment in which people are relaxed. People are at the beach to chill. They very often take selfies, and what I did was take advantage of this. I was seeing that they were already taking pictures. They were maybe asking their mothers. They were maybe asking their friend. So if I went there with my nice camera, that was really a favorable situation. In other situations, it's much harder. But with practice, it's possible in almost any environment. I even asked to a girl at the gym. She was one of the personal trainer of the gym. And I asked her if she wanted to pose naked for me. I never spoke to her before. But I was in such a confident space in my head that I thought, I can ask this girl. Maybe she's gonna say no. And in fact, she said no. But it was like an exercise. Learning to ask for things, pre-framing these things. This is what I did. Hi, I need to ask you a question. I know that this is a bit of a direct question, unusual question, but have you ever considered doing a nude photo shoot? This is what I do as a job. And I immediately took out my phone with my Instagram profile. And she was a very girl with an amazing body, so you have to ask to the right type of woman. She doesn't have to be a supermodel, but you have to see what kind of girls see themselves in those type of pictures. If you go to a really random girl, a girl who nobody gives attention to ever, no, you're just gonna scare away her. If you go to women that know that they are attractive enough, that there is a chance that someone can take pictures of them, most girls already take selfies on themselves, so they know what their image look like. They're maybe scared of someone else doing that for them, especially if he's a man. But if you ask the right way, if they are in the right place, like if they are at the beach, they're relaxed, they might say yes. And if you don't have to access to beaches or situations like those that I described, you will have to start with your friends. You will have to start with friends or friends of friends. You have to put yourself out there as a photographer. That's the thing. You have to start thinking like someone who is looking for subjects. In the end, this is what I had to do when I wanted to make the jump. From just being a guy that takes pictures of girls at the beach to thinking, okay, but now I want to do something more. I want to look for girls who want to pose naked. And it was just a switch in my head. So in December 2019 or January 2020, I decided, no, you know what? Now I'm a photographer of naked women. And I started asking, yeah, I went to professional models, but I also asked some of my friends that I considered attractive enough or considered open-minded enough that it would be a good idea to take pictures of them, even naked. And it was super funny. I was in Greece and I was supposed to go to London in a few weeks to start shooting my first professional models. I received a couch surfer at home. She was a girl from Argentina. One day we went to an amazing beach, but the day after it was very great, it was raining, and I said, I found the courage to tell her, you know, I have a crazy idea. Would you like to pose naked for me? And she said yes. It was a lucky moment, but this is luck that you have to go out to find. You have to look for it, you have to create the conditions to do it. Now, of course, what I described about the confidence, the pre-framing, these are super important things because the girl has to understand, has to see that you have serious and honest intentions. There cannot be any hidden agenda. You are not asking this because then you are going to get closer to her and then you have a chance of sleeping with her. You have to keep this away from your mind. This is not the purpose of taking pictures of women, dressed or undressed. I should have said it earlier, but really this is super, super, super important. Because if they perceive that you are a bit uneasy, a bit awkward, that you are asking for something, but really you want something else, that's a big no-no. And women, as a species, they are very tuned into reading bullshit in other people, especially men. So, extremely important. This is what you have to show. You have to show that you understand the position of a woman. She's in a vulnerable position. She is not usually physically strong as you are. If she is undressed, she's in a vulnerable position. She can be subjected to sexual threats. You have to show that in a very candid way, in a very open and honest way, that this is not what you're after. What you really want, what you really have to show with your words is, look, I really want to take pictures of you now because I'm sure that I can take amazing pictures of you now. Especially if there is an amazing sunset like those at the tropics. Look, I can take amazing pictures of you now. Please give me a chance. Give me a chance, you will not regret it. You have to be concentrated on the photographic effort. No hidden agenda. No hidden agenda.